All right, welcome back, Pokemon Go players, to another episode of the Purified podcast. Today is August 22nd, 2021. I am your host, Luis Palacios, with my co-host, Chris.
Hey, it's your boy, Pokemon Trigger, please. How are you doing today, Lewis?
I am doing great, aside from probably just dying from, some stomach flu or something, because it's just been that's been my entire 2 weeks in the last 2 times, so.
Oh no.
But I'm doing it right now, so hopefully it will last, and hopefully I don't have to literally, do anything else, because hospitals are kind of bad these days, so our emergency rooms are bad, so I kind of don't want to, and expensive, so I kind of don't want to go over there. As long as I can control it, I'll be fine.
Feel better, my guy.
I'll be good. All right, so I guess we should start talking some Pokemon Go news updates and ranting about the game, because we love the game just as much as you do. Make sure that we remind everybody that we are part of the Professor Network. Please check us out at professornetwork.com/Purified Podcast. Wonderful people to work with every single day. Fun fact, actually, they're wonderful people. So that's all I'm going to say for now. All right. Chris, I think it's time to recap some things. I know we're a little bit early in the podcast, but there's just things to talk about and things to not talk about, because we have a lot of news, quote unquote, a lot of news, I guess. But but we do have almost 2 weeks worth of recapping, because we did not actually had a podcast last week. That was actually a decision that I made, basically because there wasn't a lot of news to talk about. Actually, there was no news to talk about. Everything we already have gotten in the last 2 or 3 weeks of mentioning. And there was actually really nothing positive to say, because with how things as community has been going, it's been kind of downer. Plus, the event that we are about to recap also didn't help. So we really didn't have much adventuring going. I probably played the least amount that I have played in the last 5 years, just from that last 10 days of playing the game, because there's just no incentive for me to go out and play these days and just be going and going out of my way to get hundos or shinies and things like that. However, that has changed, so now it's time to go back and try it one more time, see how the game treats us from here on out. So, Chris, time to recap. What do we got? What are our hauls for this, 2 weeks actually, so.
Let me see. Shiny, 4-star, and age 0 to 14, I guess.
True.
Yeah. Actually, I didn't get too much.
Okay.
I did get a shiny Palkia, just one.
Nice.
That's pretty much all I wanted, though. And
True.
I think yesterday I got a shiny Shadow Seedot, and it's my second one. It's all right. I personally I want that Shadow Hundo for Ultra League, or something around extra large range. But beggars can't be choosers.
True. But at least it's something, now that people actually have Shadow Shinies. And at least in the last few events, actually. Since the last rotation, I haven't seen one myself. Which reminds me, I gotta put the radar back on now that I need to use it again. But, anything else aside from that?
No, I don't usually get the hundos.
Okay. I mean, he tried, but he tries. As for myself, depending on what it is. Wait, hold on. What about EV Community Day, which we technically were supposed to talk about too, but still.
I got a good amount.
Okay, all right.
Just not a crazy amount.
All right.
I didn't play too much.
As for myself, I did get a shiny Palkia, and a second one, because I remember that I talked about the other one. I'll definitely talk about the EVs. I think that in total I got 30 EVs. I can't remember right now. One thing that actually was funny is that I hatched another shiny Bunnelby. So actually that's happy, because that's the second one that I needed to complete the family. So that's pretty good. And I also hatched a shiny Gligar. So the shinies and the eggs were actually doing me pretty good these days. So I'm actually happy about that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So 2 shiny hashes, one from Rain, and definitely quite a bit of them from Community Day itself. But I'll definitely talk about my experiences in Community Day in just a moment. We'll recap that and exactly how we played and how it went, because once again, it was a repeat shiny Community Day. But it was an interesting one, just for a lot of different reasons, and of course, the moves and a lot of the Pokemon that you can evolve during the time. So it was actually kind of nice. So yeah, not a bad. As for Hondos, actually, I do have quite a bit of, just a little bit of Hondos there. I did snag myself a Hondo Palkia, so I'm happy about that. I wish I would have rated a little bit more to get the extra large candies for it, just to see if I can actually make some waves in the Master League if I could. But regardless, it's still a pretty good one. I have a couple more things to power it up. I was listening. I missed my mind there for a second. And then starting today's event for part 3, I did get a Hondo Darmanitan. Cashed in those power punches, my friend, or ice punches, I guess. But
Rayquaza, meet your maker.
I am ready. Yeah, I'm actually happy about that. It was actually one of the only ones that I really wanted Hondo, but we'll see how the event goes from here now. However, before we move on to actually talking about the Ultra Unlock Part 3, since the start is last Friday, well, let's talk about the ending of Ultra Unlock Part 2 and how it really went. Now, I did mention last week, or at least the last time we were on live and podcasting, that this event really wasn't giving me anything that I wanted. Plus, taking away one of the best shinies out of the wild kind of literally put a nail in the coffin in the time of playing. So I'll let you go ahead and talk your thoughts about part 2, and then we'll give it our rating, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I think we mentioned a little bit about it, but it was just crazy that they took Hairgrass completely out of the wild. It would have made sense to have it just be out in the wild a little bit. But I guess their reasoning was, we'll put it in raids and then we'll raise the shiny odds. But some people were saying that they lowered the shiny odds throughout the event. I don't know if it was just people getting unlucky later on or anything like that. I mean, it's just I do feel bad for the people that were rating more and more and got less shinies. But I saw people with 6, 7. Oh, so okay. I doubt it was 1 in 500 or whatever the normal shiny odds are. So I don't know.
Fun fact, and we're saying how Heracross wasn't spawning in the wild and things like that for this event. During Community Day, Eevee's Community Day, there was a moment, actually throughout the hours of the event, from 11 to 5, for ours in the region, the Heracross was spawning in the wild. And it was a bare minimum. Again, the Eevees was overtaking the entire event, but it was overriding the part 2 Ultra Unlock. So technically, we did receive it to happen in the wild only for those hours specifically. It was very rare to see, but it was possible to try to get the shiny during the time of Eevee Community Day. So,
man.
If I would have known that, I probably would have played a little bit harder or tried to see if I can find a couple more in the wild. However, Eevee was going literally 1,000% in Community Day anyways. You will see Eevees everywhere no matter how much you try. I actually go plus a Heracross, and I was actually like, where did you come from? I didn't hash this. And things like that. So I was a little confused. I thought maybe it was one of the lore modules. And I thought maybe one of them actually just spawned a Heracross. I was like, maybe they're still in lures. That's not a problem. That could also mean, they're making money out of things. But no, it was actually technically a technicality from them, aside from other things, but a technicality because it does make sense that during a Community Day, the event spawns technically will go back to regular spawns, but just event spawns for the actual Community Day. So it was possible, just not super crazy, just because of the odds and getting the shiny and all that. So that was actually interesting to see.
That does remind me too. I did see some reports of people getting their daily spawn as Heracross during the
Yes.
Ultra 2, but only as the daily, not in the wild.
Well, we actually had somebody in one of our local discords that got a Heracross back-to-back daily spawns. So that was actually kind
Wow.
of fun to understand. And she was like, "Was this a thing before?" It's like it's been a thing for like 8 months. So she was like, "Okay, well, whatever." But the funny thing is that, of course, that's also doesn't affect. At least our daily spawn shouldn't be affected by the event. It mostly is affected by the weather or something similar to it. So just yeah, those are at least some pointers that happened the last during last week and last weekend, and we kind of noticed. But at the end of the day, it's not really that much of a difference. Just for the reason that even during community day, it was barely even spawning. You will actually had to get lucky either with the weather or something similar to see if you can actually see at least one Heracross in the entire cell 2 area or something. And then as for the daily spawns, that's just getting incredibly lucky. You still have to live in the place where they spawn normally, but still it was just not there at the time of. So aside from that, unfortunately, Ultra Unlock Part 2 didn't offer much aside from the Basculins, the regional Basculins, the regional Shellos, Kangaskhan in the raid, and just a lot of psychic Pokemon and, Clefairies and all that stuff, which unfortunately doesn't feel a lot of value anymore since in the last few events we've been getting a lot of those. Plus, a lot of them are not even shiny possible, so there wasn't much. It was literally just don't play that much kind of event, so...
If I compared it to anime, that'd be the filler event.
Well, there you go. Yeah, there you go. You're right on that. But yeah, no, unfortunately, that it is what it is. I'm literally going to downgrade my rating from last time and just give it a 2 at this point, because there's just, aside from, not even the eggs were exciting. I wasn't hatching eggs at all during the time. So yeah, that's my rating. What do you got?
I'd probably, I don't remember what I gave it last time. I think I gave it like a 6. I think the lowest I'd give it is like a 4 though.
Yeah.
It had cool shinies, but I don't know. I don't think they were accessible enough.
Yeah,
I will say that.
Yeah, I do believe that they were not as accessible as it should have been, and because we were in that part of the world, or we're in that part of the world actually, it feels like a gut shot, to say the least, because I wish we would have.
Now we gotta wait.
Now we gotta wait once again. But yeah, that is, like I said, I give it a low rating. The only saving grace was Palkia, but that's because the shiny was released and all that. So aside from that, I probably would have given it like literally a 1 if it wasn't for that, or even close to a 0, because I wasn't even motivated to play at all that week. Even our Discord, and to be true, when we were rating Palkia, that was the starter Ultra Unlock Part 2. But then nobody posted anything for the entire 10 days that the event went live. Nobody in our Discord posted any shinies, any good caches, any hundos, nothing for those 10 days. When I posted it was the Darmanitan, and that was literally part 3 already. So that's crazy. Crazy. It is what it is. I mean, sometimes events could be good, sometimes events has to be bad, so this was one of their worst ones, to say the least. And kind of also sucks that it was part of a Ultra Unlock for after GoFest, and how everything that we did to make sure that we had it unlocked. So I'm kind of surprised that they went that route for that type of event. At least if they give us maybe an extra shiny, maybe 2 more to hunt for between the Shellos or even the Basculins, that would have probably made it just a little bit better, because you do have 2 forms of each, and they're spawning in the wild, so go for it, kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, like, I was happy to have another chance to get the blue Shellos, and also finally get the red Basculin. But like, once you get one, you're done.
Yeah,
but they're still spawning.
Yep, for 10 more
I don't
days
know.
or 11 more days, it's like, oh my
Taking
god.
up raid spots. Yeah.
Yeah, that was probably like, what the hell, man? Oh my god. But anyways, let's move on from that to experiences on Community Day. Now, 2 days worth of events we've been mentioning for the last, 10, 15 minutes that we'll be live, about how the events have been going. Now, EV Community Day, once again, was just different in that regard because you do have many EV evolutions to go through. From Shinies to Hundos, and either between Umbreon and Sylveon, which are the two top winners of this Community Day, definitely. I play semi regularly on the first day. I was at work through the first half, and then my coworker and I went to just to do a little bit of hunting here and there for maybe 2 hours after that. So I definitely didn't stay for the entire event, but I did have the Gold Plus running for most of it. And I got quite a big the haul. In the first day, it was probably like 16 shiny, so I'm okay with that too. Nothing good to really say that unfortunately was, a Shando or something, which was probably one of my goals, but I wasn't motivated to actually go out and get them if that was the case, or if one was reported at the time. And then after that, on day 2, I did have some family stuff to work on. Plus, it literally rained the entire day of day 2 of EV Community Day for us. So it wasn't really that we could go out and play. It was just inaccessible at the time. And again, I had some family stuff to do. So the Gold Plus ran me out of Pokeballs at one point in the 6 hours that I was running. And that was it. I got quite a bit of good shinies too, like maybe another 16 or something. So it was like somewhere around the 30 mark at the end. But yeah, that really was it. I really don't have much adventuring to go through because of that. We actually had like a small storm going around too. So even day 1 was rainy through most of it. So it is what it is, I guess. What about you, Chris? What you got?
I took it pretty easy. I had the day off for the first one. I woke up at 2 p.m. I was super lazy in that morning.
Holy shit.
So I didn't go out till like 2.
Oh my
But
God.
I got a decent amount. I never try to get too many shinies unless it's like a really crazy one. And this is a repeat shiny community day.
Mm-hmm.
So honestly, I just wanted PvP. I only evolved one Sylveon. I was working on a second one, but I guess I forgot it was community day. So that's why it's my buddy still as an Eevee.
Right. I mean, you did have the entire weekend to do the
I
bonus
know.
too. So.
I know, dude. I was super lazy. I don't know what happened.
I mean, I can
But
understand.
I only got 11 shinies altogether.
Still pretty decent
I
for somebody.
I was pretty excited. I got some pretty decent PvP shinies. And I'm not really looking at the ones that aren't shiny, just because I don't want to sort through them all. But I do know I evolved some decent ones for PvP, especially like Leafeon, that I'm pretty excited to use in the future.
Yeah, definitely. If you buy the ticket, of course, you also had the chance to get every single EV evolution in the line with their community day moves once you catch them. A lot of people were first Sylveon was there, so that actually was pretty good. They were not shiny available, unfortunately, to catch in their evolved forms, but it was still kind of fun and see to know, they were there. It was a $1 ticket. So I mean, again, not too much to spend on the game, and depending on how you play in these days, anyways. But yeah, it was kind of neat in that regards. I did get quite a bit of Sylveons. I didn't get any good Umbreons, unfortunately. The Sylveons, I do have one for Ultra. I think it was like a rank 7 or something. And I do have a rank 4 shiny Sylveon for Grey League. But I also have a rank 1 Sylveon for Grey League.
Oh my.
So I was happy about that kind of haul in the PvP side at least, because that were kind of like also half of the goals to make sure. I really didn't care about the other evolutions. I know I could evolve a couple Leafeon circulations if I wanted to, but nothing really speaks to mind to say that I needed to have it. And of course, the other three were just plain and simple, don't even try. So, because a lot of people are actually getting PvP IVs for Jolteon and Flareon and Vaporeon, but then they evolved them and it was the complete opposite of what they could get. So,
Yep.
So in the end of the day.
Yeah.
But yeah, we also had the glitch that you didn't have to walk your buddy or your EV to evolve it to either Umbreon or Espeon. So that was a nice little glitch, a good glitch, I guess, from Niantic. And they did report that since we talked about it last time. But yeah, that was actually pretty good. Just like a lot of people saying, the glitch was successfully implemented, even though it was not supposed to even be there, but you know what I meant. But yeah, that's Community Day. Like I said, we didn't really have that much of a stories when it comes to that Community Day. It would have been cool if it wasn't raining that much, but again, the motivation wasn't there unless you really wanted to grind out those extra large candies, which that was the day for, especially for Umbreon. But again, it was just more like, if you play, you play. If you're not, don't worry about it. It wasn't like it's gonna change the game, the meta entirely in that regard, or do a complete 380 in that sense, or 360 in that sense. So, I don't know my maths. Anyways, but yeah, that it was Community Day. I said it was okay. I want to rate this Community Day maybe a 7.5 maybe.
Yeah, for a repeat, I think it was pretty darn decent.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, evolutions be evolutions. They're very fickle. But I think they did them pretty good. Especially giving us 2 days again. That was pretty nice.
Yeah, definitely. I guess it was also a lot of holdouts for a lot of different people. Eevee is a common spawn Pokemon, yet it is not something that you will get shiny anytime soon unless you go out your way of getting it anyway. So, tomato. Either way, thank you very much, Niantic. All right, so yeah, so I guess we should actually start talking about Ultra Unlock Part 3, which started this Friday at 10 a.m. local time, with the release of Galar Pokemon for the very first time in Pokemon Go. Actually, one of them, we're doing one right now, which is the Zacian, or Zacian, whatever you want to call it, I guess. Wolfie legendary Pokemon from Generation 8. And this is an interesting one. Now, this is in its many battles, many heroes form kind of thing. So it doesn't have his true form attached to it just yet. And he kind of lacks a little bit of a very fast move in that regard. However, I have seen a couple of people actually try Zacian in Master League, especially extra large, and he's doing somewhat decent in the meta itself. It's not like game breaking, but it is something that to take into account if you're going one against. Since it's a pure fairy type, it doesn't have a lot of weaknesses aside from probably Dialga. But again, if you're really going against a Dialga with no shields, then why you even playing? But still, it's kind of one of those things, and it's still a pretty cool Pokemon to catch. He won't change the raid meta either way until his other form is released, and hopefully we'll see that. I want to say maybe in another year, just because of how the timeline is, and this is just a bonus type of event kind of thing. So it's kind of one of those things. What do you think, Chris, about Zacian and all this glory right now?
I gotta say, personally, I'm more of a fan of Zamazenta.
Same.
I mean, I chose Shield. But at the same time, I do think Zacian has better typing. I think its moves are very cool.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I don't know what to say other than if they give it a move shakeup, which they probably will, when they bring out the other one, it probably won't be as good as this one, just because its typing is so OP. Steel and Fairy is beautiful together.
Once it's in its other form, she does gain I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think it's supposed to have a gender, anyways.
Yeah, they're genderless, but like, I don't know. People always talk about the Pokédex saying it's Zamazenta's sister. You
Yeah,
know, it's got braids,
I
but
know.
at the same time, it is genderless. So
Yeah, yeah. So whatever the case may be, it Pokemon Station doesn't. I mean, yes, when it actually is in its other form, it will gain the Steel typing, which is kind of wrecking in that regard. It is the same as Mawile in that regard. However, he does pack a punch as a Steel type because of his moveset. And even so, if his special move or his behemoth blade actually comes into the game, that could be destroyingly game breaking in that regard, just because of his power stuff and stabbing of that move. So we won't know if it's ever going to come into Pokemon Go. We just know that it might be possible, and just a lot of different things in that regard. So. Yeah, Station could be a good winner if you get it. Now, right now, it's just kind of like a one and done kind of deal. Plus, it's shiny, hasn't even been released in the main series games. So we don't anticipate getting a shiny really anytime soon for even both of us in Pokemon Go. So don't expect too much. If you want to rate it, that's fine. Nobody's saying not to. You can get the extra large candies, just save it for the other form. I'd really suggest the other form is probably just a little bit better in that regard.
people have been suggesting you can trade these into Sword and Shield. So if you guys want a team full of 6 Zacians, there you go.
That's hilarious. I never thought about that until now. I forgot about that. But yeah, that's at least the legendary. Now we do have other things that the Ultra Unlock Part 3 has actually come to go. First and foremost, of course, we do have the new Night Sky from GoFest and Hoopa's Ring going around. So that's actually pretty nice. We'll have it for the rest of the event. So if you get a shiny, take a screenshot, send it to us. You'll be good. But yeah, that's a pretty nice addition. Again, something that we been wanting to, and luckily it's not just GoFest that we were gonna see it. I was hoping for other events to have this kind of thing, and I hope during the whole Hoopa lore that they're trying to describe these days, I hope that we see it more often than other times. That's one thing, and right. And then we also have brand new Galarian Pokemon spawning in the wild. As you can see right now on the screen, we do have the loveliest Wooloo happening to spawn. Nice little sheep boy. I know a lot of people like
that thing. You know why?
Why?
It runs from every single ball. You can't throw anything but Ultra Balls at this thing, man. It just runs.
I throw Great Balls.
I don't have Great Balls.
Oh, well.
Just have Pokeballs and Ultra Balls, and it just runs. I'm so mad at it.
Anyways, we do also have Scorbets and Gradient into the game. There are some things that say that the evolution of Scorbet is actually viable in the PvP meta these days. We'll come and see what it actually does in the Great League meta, of course. We also have Failings, which it kind of broke the game when it came out, but it is there. Failings is the fighting type Pokemon from Generation 8, and it's a cool one. It's a very cool one. Very long boy, for sure. When it spawns in the overworld, it's kind of crazy because you just see a long line of little guys. I'm actually
saying the community day, it would be hilarious.
I know, right? I want to see that. I want to see more of them just in one sitting in that regard. But still, it's spawning pretty recently in the wild. And those are the brand new additions. We do have some new shinies too, which is almost all the Galarian forms have come out shiny. We got Galarian Guisine, Galarian Farfetch, Galarian Stunfisk, and Galarian Meowth as shiny available through both raids and X, 7kx if I may add on that. And then of course we still also have spawns like Galarian Darumaka in the wild. That's actually pretty decent. We do have Snorlax and something else I can't remember right now.
Weird ones like Kingler.
Yeah, Kingler and things like that. But those, don't hold out on those. Again, Snorlax Shiny is still a really good sought-off one for sure. And then Darumaka is just, or at least Galar Darumaka, top notch.
Best ice attacker in the game.
Yes, top notch. Try to get as many as you can, extra large candy if you can. I really suggest you really go out your way on hunting as much as you can for this one. But yeah, that's mostly it for the Ultra Unlock. So far, it's actually been doing pretty well. I'm not dishating the spawns or anything like that. The brand new additions, of course, but the failings just spawning in the wild seems pretty cool. Seeing a lot of Snorlax spawning in the wild is also pretty nice. Termanitan. I'm hatching eggs again just because I do want to have another chance on the shinies. And then raiding whatever I can and whatever people send me. I'm not going out of my way of actually looking for them, but at least, if I see one, I'll probably ask to do one or something like that. So, fun fact and funny thing, me and my coworker actually raided the Galarian Farfetch that was on our workplace, and of course he gets the shiny on the first one.
Oh,
so I'm happy and jealous at the same time.
Did he involve it in front of you though?
No, not yet, because he still needs to make the excellent throws and all that. So, which he probably not gonna do anytime soon, as far as I know.
He saved you that pain.
Yeah, I know, right? I know. So yeah, that's Ultra Log Part 3 so far. It might get a little bit boring probably a week into it, but nonetheless, the spawns are way better than before. The raids are still way better than before, and yeah, so far it's a pretty decent event. I'll give it a pretty limited rating of I'm gonna go ahead and go with 8. Because again, I
can agree with that.
It's not too bad. It's not the greatest, but it's still way better than it was before. And I definitely liking the vibe of this event so far. Mm-hmm. Right?
Yeah, I'd say the only thing I would do is turn up the new spawns a tiny bit. I mean, look at what they did for 2. It was only event spawns,
I love
so,
that.
I don't know.
You saying that we're not getting Heracles spawns. So one just spawned in top of my face. So
that's freaking hilarious.
So we're still getting Heracles spawns too. So thank God they're back in the wild, in chances of catching it. So be free, my little buggy. You were annoying before. Now you're still annoying, but now you're shiny. So
yeah. Well, when we get rain. We'll get like 20 Heracross in one parking lot, so I'm excited for that.
Yeah, hopefully.
This event's been great. Able to load up on rare extra large candy. That these Pokemon, we don't know how often we're gonna see Galar Pokemon. We're probably gonna see the Squirrel every other day, just like Zigzagoon and stuff like that.
Ditto probably too. So Ditto.
Yeah, that's true.
And just to add to that real quick, Chris, this is like a huge jump in generations. We don't have any news on Generation 7 or when it's supposed to come out this year, or at least by the end of this year. We still have a chunk of Gen 5 and Gen 6 that hasn't been released just yet. So I don't know what Niantic is really thinking on this. I know that everybody's focus is really more on what's going on with the community right now, but in the end, I kept thinking, it's like, why do this much for one event, and then what about every other Pokemon we're supposed to still see in Pokemon Go? I know there's a lot of them that it's hard to implement into the game just because of how the mechanics of Pokemon Go's are, but still, it's like, give me Larvesta, give me Aegislash, or all those Pokemons that I'm waiting for, like the really good ones that I'm really waiting for, because they're just powerful. They're gonna change things, and if you're waiting on something, I think the time is now. Maybe right after the Ultra Unlock ending, maybe give us something for September that's gonna change how we play and how we grind for new Pokemons or something like that. Because in the end of the day, if we're just gonna give us shinies and just brand new Pokemons to catch, I think that will keep it all in, plus, But yeah, the Ultra Unlock Part 3. Now, again, this was all recap because, again, we've been out for 2 weeks, but still, we do have some bit of news to talk about, and we'll go ahead and talk about our research topics of the day. First and foremost, we do have some good news. If you actually played the in-game music in Pokemon Go right now, you can actually hear the music from GoFest at the end of GoFest. And this was with lyrics and everything. Well, Niantic decided to put it on YouTube, and finally, the world can actually listen to without having to play the game or wait for nighttime in that regard. But they did post where you can actually find it. It is a music created by Junichi Matsuda, and then the English lyrics is by Ed Goldfarb, which again, they're very popular in the regard, and there's some vocals people out there too. I really like the music. I can go ahead and give you guys the link to their blog post, and then of course their YouTube channel is when the lyric version will be there. It's a really good piece of music. I really suggest if you actually have the chance, just download it, because it is something to go about every now and then here and there. So pretty nice, pretty neat. Have you actually listened at all, Chris, before?
Oh yeah. It is miles better than the normal song that we have.
Yeah. I hope that also incentivizes them to change a little bit of their in-game music. Maybe makes it a little bit better. I do want them to fix the encounter and the encounter music to the overworld music, because if it just resets, then it's just never going to, and we're never going to enjoy it anyways. So.
Yeah, make that a setting or something, to turn that off, because like you're listening to the songs, you have a Snorlax spawn, you got to click on it. Music restarts.
Yeah,
it's so sad.
Yeah, and that was actually one of the glitches in GoFest anyways, but still, it was it's something that I feel like they have to work on if they really want to enhance the player experience in that regard. Real quick, we do have to mention some news that they roll back the Kobo bonuses in New Zealand based on government lockdown and everything. So New Zealand, and sorry, 1 second. All right, sorry about that. So they roll back the Kobo bonuses back to the was before the beginning of August, when they actually reverted to the new bonuses. Just because of how COVID is going on right there in their lockdown situation and everything. So good for them, I guess. But this also shows that Niantic can actually revert back the bonuses back to the original bonuses if they needed to in regards to it. Now, it's not it's, again, just like we have mentioned in the last few podcasts, something that may not need to do, but it will be welcoming if everybody, especially us in the United States, which we're having way more cases than anything, could actually have something like this back again, if possible. Any thoughts on that?
I'm worried that because they're giving it to Australia, I actually didn't know they already did that. That everyone else is going to be like, well, you did it for them. What about us? Yeah, we still have COVID. We still got,
we're getting way more than any parts in the world right now.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I know Florida has like a huge amount right now. So I wouldn't be surprised if they ended up switching it back for us too. I'm not necessarily asking for it. I'm just saying it would be cool if it happened. I don't know. Like if you play the game, you know how to play safely. I don't know if kids do. I guess that would be my only concern. But yeah, I don't know. I think hopefully Niantic listens to people and they do what they need to do, I guess. I don't know.
I mean, if they base it only on government authorities or something like that, and then we know the United States is never going to get to that point. With everything that goes on politically in the States, we never are going to get to that point where Niantic is just going to say, oh yeah, the government said this, might as well just do this and revert the bonuses back for you guys. There has to be a different type of avenue when it comes to reverting those back to us too. As of right now, we are the only ones that have the new bonuses and not the old ones. Everywhere else in the world still has the old bonuses, and again, another shot in the gut kind of thing. Like we're the only ones actually suffering. But again, it's not like it's the worst thing in the world. Just like Chris says, if you know how to play the game, then we know how safely we can be when it comes to respecting others and things like that. If you want to play the game back to where originally it was. We're not defending the decision. We're not defending anything like that. We're just saying that it's time to move on, but safely, if we can. Anyways, if you guys want to listen more about ranting about that, you can always check us out on our other episodes of the podcast. We definitely go more in depth, tell our feelings and things like that. So let's move on to the Community Day announcement. I'm surprised we actually got it this early already.
Honestly, I was surprised.
Right. Well, Chris, what is our very next Community Day right there?
It is one that, I don't know, it almost feels long overdue. But the September Community Day is going to be Oshawott. A lot of people's favorite. I'm not a big fan, but it'll be fun to shiny chance. Get that shiny chance on.
That's true. So Oshawott, the last of the Gen 5 Pokemons that needed a Community Day technically since last year at this point. But yeah, it's finally here. The last of the starters. Oshawott's day to shine will be on September 19th on a Sunday. So a one-day event from 11 to 5 once again. Which is nice because I kind of want to play this one for a couple of reasons we're about to mention. So Oshawott will be spawning in the wild more frequently. It will be attracted to raining lure modules. So if you don't have a lot of those, I mean, depends on a lot of things. Kind of interesting though, because now that means that our regular lure modules are not going to attract them then?
That's what I'm worried about after reading that. Because they even put it in bold.
Yeah.
They're like, hey, we advertised it to you guys. Why are you guys putting normal lures?
It's right here in bold letters, everybody. It will be attracted to rainy lures. They're not saying it's only rainy lures, but oh my god, jeez.
Rainy lures are so rare too. I don't know.
We do have only like one or two from previous events anyways, so it's not like it's the worst thing in the world. But they do last for 3 hours. And not a lot of people are having it. It is in the shop. So, again, if you're lucky, you will encounter a shiny Oshawott. Moving on from, the highlight, I guess. If you evolve with Oshawott's evolution, do you want to Samurott, it will know this charge attack Hydro Cannon, just like any other Pokemon Go. However, this is another thing that they're mentioning here. Samurott will not be able to learn the charge attack Razor Child. This attack will be able for Samurott to learn event even after the event has concluded. So, just like Blaziken and Blaze Kick, they're giving Samurott his signature move attack. And I'm kind of wondering how this really changes Oshawott or Samurott as a PvP relevant Pokemon. So,
it's interesting.
Does any other Pokemon have it? I don't think so, right?
Is Razor Shell a water type? No, it's definitely new.
I think it is a water type move.
It's either water or normal. I do not remember. If it's two water moves, why would you not go with Hydro Cannon?
Right. I mean, luckily Razor Shell is a TMable move. You can get it back any point. So
I'm hoping it's a normal move. I'm double checking right now. Shell.
I think so too, or it could have been because Samurott being a water type is just a water type. Anyways, while Chris searches for that,
it is water type.
It is a water type.
So that is interesting.
It will depend on the stats.
It's a mirror.
Yeah, it will depend on the stats.
Blaze Kick.
Yeah, I was thinking of that too. It's gotta be interesting if they do. It will be a spammy kind of move, but you will not have a lot of diversity if it comes to having a double water type move in that regard. So. It is what it is. We'll see how it goes. Again, we don't have all the stats right now, and this was just announced a couple of days earlier, so we'll see when it comes to that day specifically. The snapshots, of course, come back. You can purchase the Community Day box for 280 Pokecoins for 50 Ultra Balls, 5 Lucky Eggs, 5 Raining Modules, and an Elite Fast TM. Okay, the 5 Raining lower modules may be a thing, but again, you'll probably be using it for through Community Day anyways. There's some stickers, Oshawott inspired stickers, which we actually already have. So I don't know why they're promoting that. We do have the $1 special research story from scarecrows to seminars. Seminars? What? Really? What the heck is this? The special release will also include a rainy load module. So, I mean, you at least get one if you do pay for $1, so it's not bad. And of course, they tell us when it will be. Now, the bonuses for this community day, and I'm actually excited about this one because the bonuses will be 3 times cash experience. And with a lucky, that's 6 times. So I'm definitely going to grind out those hours. I got a failings in my house right now because of my incest. So that's pretty good. You can see how big that thing is. Like, what the heck? But yeah, so 3 times cash experience. And then, of course, the incest and lore modules will be lasting for 3 hours each. Definitely a grind day if you are on your way to level 50. I definitely have some experience that I want to get throughout that specific event. So, yeah, why the PvPIB reverse? Anyways, excited about this, Chris? No, maybe, so.
I don't know, man. I've never been a fan of Oshawott. I really don't understand why people are so hyped about it.
Asha is a fan favorite for Gen 5. A lot of people really like it. It's better than Tepic or Snivy at that regard. Snivy has more, or at least the Viper has more liability because of competitiveness, but Ashura is just a pretty cool Pokemon in that sense.
I don't know. When you're talking about the shinies, though, he definitely has the worst one out of those 3.
What, Ashura?
Yeah.
I guess because I really like the blue a lot more. Maybe I like him a little bit better than the other ones.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it all comes down to personal preference. Right. I'm just not a fan.
Embers, though, is like top notch here right there. But
Hot Wheels car. Love it.
Yeah. So, we'll see when it comes down to it. It's not the greatest, not the thing is, but it is a community day. And finally, finalizing the Gen 5 starters, which it's been long overdue at this point. Hopefully, we'll get another good dragon pseudo-legendary Pokemon in the next community day.
Me? Dino? Who knows?
Oh, God. I can already hear headlines. It's like, Dino is now a community day Pokemon. Everybody spend their passes for nothing.
Yeah, what do you mean I spent all my money on GoFest for Dino? I told you guys.
Hey, it could be Axia too. Maybe they'll put a little bit holo on it too. That wouldn't be a bad idea anyways.
Okay. I'd be fine with that.
Yeah. But yeah, that's the community day announcements. We'll see how it goes, and we definitely have probably, if I think about it, this week or by the end of this week, we should have the dump of news for September. So they have a lot of things to talk about pretty soon, anyways. Quick thing and quick miscellaneous. We have been hearing a lot of the community leaders to be part of or to speak to the internal task force that Niantic has been put together since the hashtag Heroes Niantic movement has been happening. People like Zoe Tudot, Psionic, our Ken's own Lure Up from Lure Up is going to be there. Chris from GoCast is going to be there too. Go Stadium was part of it there too. And many other community leaders have been welcomed to talk to Niantic and their internal task force for this. So fingers crossed that all of this will make a change, not just to the bonus itself, but to maybe other things that the community has been wanting to talk to for a long time already. But let's see how it goes. I do hope that this will open their eyes, if anything. But if not, I mean, I guess it was to expected to see. But yeah, that in that sense, it is what it is. Any thoughts on that, Chris? Any quick things?
Yeah, I'm pretty hopeful. I hope that it's not just 90% of their fans telling them to revert the COVID changes.
Mm-hmm.
Don't get me wrong. I do think that a lot of them will bring it up because it is still relevant.
Right. It's kind of why they needed to do it, but
I think a lot of people were comparing it to the straw that broke the camel's back, because they're saying like we haven't heard like anything from Niantic. Like we keep saying like, yo, hey, we don't really like this, and they're like, what?
Right?
What was that?
Yeah, I
Did you
know,
say
right?
something?
Yeah.
Can't hear you over this money in my ear. uh, but
Uh,
I don't know. I'm just hopeful that they're faster about change after this. But it is a company, so it's not like as soon as one person says, "Oh yeah, I don't really like this. It's glitching," they're not going to switch it right away. It
right.
takes some time to fix everything. So I understand it takes time for that. So I don't know. But hopefully things are a little bit faster from here on out.
More like I kind of want to see their transparency in communication. That's basically
I can
my
see that.
my biggest pet peeve on this whole internal task force kind of thing. Uh, Anything that has to go do with the bonuses or something similar to it, or changes to the game itself, it's a plus. It could be a plus. It literally could be just a cherry on top kind of thing. But the communication is the biggest thing that I'm hoping to see from them, or at least change in that regard when it comes to this kind of like talk and everything. But yeah, I did want to talk about like what do you want to have to come see to the game pretty soon, or what's next for us in the game and things like that. We're kind of running low on time. I didn't think we were going to talk for this long, but I guess we after 2 weeks we do have things to talk about. So I'll leave it as a Twitter post and our Discord. What do you want to see come to the game next? We're about to hit September in around a week and a half from now. Do you want to see more Pokemons? Do you want to see new features? Do you want to see something change aside from what's been happening? Just let us know. Just want us to see an opinion from everybody out there, and what's the best course of action to go from here on out if things do change past September 1st in that regard. So let us know. Really, do let us know. All right, Chris, how about we get into our PvP section? Get good, get wrecked. Here we go.
All right, all right.
All right, before we begin, we do have to let everybody know that Go Battle 9 is coming back for the third time. And that means Stardust galore for everybody playing. Any thoughts about that, Chris? Like any more pointers for the final one? It is, I think,
know,
in the Ultra League, or I'm sorry, the Ultra Premier and Master League kind of deal, right?
all I could say, I'm not gonna lie, I haven't been too on top of things. I did play a little bit of it today, but I've just I don't know. I think because I've never hit Master, I've always been kind of turned off of Go Battle League,
Right.
Other than just kind of doing a few battles here and there for fun. And I also do not have a good Masters team, so I need to build one. But it always like rubs me the wrong way because I'm like, I don't want to spend all this stuff.
Well,
But
maybe this will actually up your enthusiasm on not just Go Battle Night, but Go Battle League itself. It has been confirmed by Niantic that Pidgeot will be back next season.
I did hear about that.
So the bird, the whole season without that bird, that breaking bug bird, and breaking literally the back of everybody actually. It's coming back once again to Go Battle League for the foreseeable future. So season 9 is when we'll see it back. It's kind of nice because everybody wants to play with Pidgeot, surprisingly. So yeah, let's get ready for that to happen pretty soon. Season 9 should be starting, I believe, at the beginning of September. But don't get me wrong, I'm still not entirely sure how it would go. So yeah, so a few pointers from Go Battle 9, just do your matches. Even if you lose, do your matches.
You'll get dust.
Yes.
If you care about grinding and like climbing up, I would say check PV Pokey. I think he has a section to check the top rated teams for the best win percentages. I would say if you have those Pokemon, definitely run those Pokemon, but just beware other people check the website, so they probably are going to know what you're running.
Yeah.
Because of that.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, that's that on Go Battle Night and Go Battle League. Do we have any information on fractions there, Chris?
Yes. The factions update. Switch Masters. We just finished our first bout tonight. I don't know if the first bout has ended yet, but we finished it today. Switch Masters won. Very close, 11-10. I was able to go 1-2. Very close for the win too. I had a huge weakness to Alolan Ninetales. I did not have like a hard answer for it. So I knew it was gonna come each match, but I just wasn't prepared for it. That was my biggest issue. But it's very fun. Definitely gonna have a hard answer for it in the next bout, and definitely looking forward to it.
Nice. How's your team doing in technicality? Like how they're doing in how many wins, how many losses in the whole season so far?
Oh, that was just the first battle.
Oh, okay.
This is like the actual season. Before it was the preseason.
Okay.
We have all the rankings set. I think we're trying to climb up to bronze right now.
Okay.
So hopefully by the end of this, we should be at least at bronze.
Well, there you go. That's not too bad. starting good with a win, so that's good. But yeah, I think that is all. I believe there's not much to talk about in PvP wise aside from this. I hope that we do get some news about some changes or anything. Go Battle League hasn't really been that much of a grind for me anymore. It's not that I don't do it; it's just that I don't have the motivation of doing it as much as I wanted to before.
It's a lot.
Yeah,
it's a lot of battles.
Yeah,
it is. I wish they gave us the full day instead of just the night.
True, and Go Battle Night at least. But I'm just also talking about Go Battle League itself. I mean, it's
that too. Yeah,
it's kind of like it. The concept there is still pretty good. I do want to see like who's the best of the best when it comes to making sure I want to see it become an esport if possible and things like that. But it's not something that I've been wanting to do in the last few weeks for sure. Aside from a lot of different other things that has been happening this month for me, it's just not there for me. It's not the rewards are not enticing enough to say that I need to go out of my way to do every battle every single day. If that regard, if you know what I mean, right, Chris?
Yeah, no, I get that. There's a few times I don't do my battles in the day. It's not at the top of my list in Pokemon Go.
Yeah.
Congrats to everyone that hit Legend already, or that hit it a while ago. And if you hit your goals, good job. Right now, I think I'm just trying to hit either Vet or Expert. I don't remember which one comes first. I think they're called that in Pokemon Go.
Right? Yeah, I know.
I do not remember. It's been so long. I'm sitting at like 2400-ish right now, so I just need to hit that first one.
We will definitely always cover Go Battle news because, I mean, it's still something that we would like to do in the future, but it's not something that, we're still somewhat passionate in that regard. We just don't feel like it's super necessary to play it every day, so... maybe we'll bring somebody in that does do like all the battles and does everything. Depending on how everything goes, I will go ahead and reach out and talk to some people and see how it goes.
Get some coaching, Pog.
That'd be nice, right? But yeah, definitely that's it. Anything else to add, Chris?
Nah, I think we covered everything pretty darn good.
Definitely. 2 weeks worth of playing. Still pretty good to talk about in podcasting. I love it. I love this podcast too much to put it down, even though it's for a week or so. But anyways, thank you so much for listening, everybody. I do appreciate it. Anybody has come to the stream and check us out. Make sure to always check us out in our podcast services feeds, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and many other places. If you can leave a review, we would greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to follow us on our social media. Myself at Pure Let It Go, Chris at PKMN. Trigger, please. I'm pretty sure that he will be changing that handle pretty soon if he wants to be part of his own community. And of course, you can always email us at thepurifiedpodcast@gmail.com. Just tell us whatever you feel like telling us. We want to hear from you guys, and we want to hear that you guys are listening to us. I always welcome any emails, anything out there. And then definitely check us out at theprofessornetwork.com/purified podcasts or purifiedpodcast.com if you want to just check us out there. Anyways, with that being said, Chris, I believe that is the end of the podcast. How about you take us away for the night?
All right. Hopefully you guys have been enjoying Pokemon Go. Getting all the new Galarian Pokemon is pretty nice. If you're free to play, or you're spending your whole paycheck every week, hope you're enjoying Pokemon Go. But yeah, look forward to the next community day. Let us know if you're looking forward to it. I don't know, I'd rate it in the same thing as Eevee pretty much, and Eevee was a repeat. But yeah, get those shinies, get them hundos, get them PvP monsters, and have a good week. Peace out.
Keep purifying them, and we'll see you guys next time.